right. Welcome back to
Howdy.
another episode of In the Green Bets. Justin here with COVID and Grant Bale. We're battling in our house. My wife is just getting over COVID. I'm on day 5 of COVID. But we're improving. Unfortunately, I had to sit there and watch every single bet lose over the weekend. I did absolutely terrible, so it's on me a bit. Had Scheffler in the hunt for my one and done for a while. Honestly, I didn't think he was ever going to win on Sunday. He was at 11, so I think he was in like 4th or 5th when he started. Well, he finished like 25th. Got me absolutely nothing basically at that point. So as bad as it was for me, worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I shot the bed on matchups. Tiger, we were pretty adamant that he wasn't going to play, or he was going to play okay, and Bryson was going to have too much. But the length and the I guess what you'd call the uniqueness of the second shots and third shots kind of helped him out in the sense that it wasn't just average, it wasn't just straight up chipping or wedge play. It was more so kind of bump and runs and putting from off the green. Right, there's a lot of just strange things happening, which allowed him to score and not make many bogeys. So that sucked. And I had Homa who missed the cut. Tiger honestly owes me money. That was horrible because even watched the no laying up immediate reaction where they had Max on, and he was talking about how he was saying that he was kind of in the group battling, but at the same time you could tell like he was thinking about it the whole time. Like even in the way he was answering questions, it was like, hey, I was in the moment, but I was still admiring what Tiger was doing. If that's the case, obviously there's things outside of your play that are happening during the round.
He hit it okay. He putted fucking horrible, like really, really bad.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Although Fitz played really well, it's definitely doable. Obviously, you can play well with Tiger. We've seen it, for his whole entire career. But with a guy like Max, a guy who's never played with him before, a young guy who's looked up to him, and then that big a figure, now that Tiger's it kind of sucks. But interesting that we saw guys like Victor come back. Conditions kind of helped him get out of his slump. Same thing with Cameron Young, right? Cameron Young made such sense out here. I even said it on the show and then didn't have the balls to bet him.
I think I said specifically like wouldn't shock me, but like I want to see him play good one time again before I go back to him because I was a little worried that his run earlier this year was just like I said on the show that like I think he's super talented, one of the guys who's going to be around forever, but like I was a little worried he kind of went on like a heater, right? He had come back down to earth, and I think he's just really fucking good. He must have been going through some shit there for a few weeks, but like. The dude just hits fucking nukes everywhere. And
his driver was
chips and putts his butt off for the most part. He should be kicking himself. I know, like, he had to make an eagle to only lose by 1 in the last, but, like, he made a terrible fucking double on 9. Or a bogey on 9 and, like, a double coming down the stretch there. It was so dumb.
Yeah, it sucked for him, but I don't say this lightly. Cam Smith putting gives me an absolute boner. Like
he just grabbed the tournament by the fucking balls on 10. He's like,
it was so impressive in a tournament where everyone in the world was rooting for Rory. Everyone in the world thought that this is like the Rory time, right? He's been standing up for the tour. He's going to win the 150th, out of St. Andrews. He can bomb it. He can do everything. His wedge game was it's been good for months now. It just all made sense. And Cam Smith came in with that mullet and just that stretch of him playing 10
through 14.
Oh my God.
Made everything. He hit some sick ass shots in there too.
Crazy.
He made like 3 long ones, but he also made like some of the nastiest iron shots. And then he hit that iron shot into like 16 or whatever. He laid way back, had like 190.
Oh, and then he putted
up
on
to
the
this
bunker?
little fucking slope. No, on 16.
Oh, yeah.
Hit this fucking 190-yard iron and just like trickled over there like 20 feet. And it's like, dude, that shot was impossible. And then he 2 putts from in front of the bunker on 17, makes his birdie on 18, and it's just like, what are you gonna do? Rory's putter was as hot as Cam Smith's got. His was just as cold. I mean, he probably could have been a bit better with his irons, getting him better looks, but like, I don't know. He missed a short one on 9. He missed a shortish one on 14. It's just, left yourself in a couple dumb spots. Didn't take care of your business.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable major though. I really liked it. Just I thought the broadcast was pretty good on Sunday. I mean, they weren't showing
not too many commercials. It was pretty enjoyable.
They weren't necessarily showing a lot of people, but they were really showing, Rory and Cam Smith, which is kind of what everybody was interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say enough about Cam Smith. We've seen it all over. I mean, you've seen the reactions that it's kind of, and now that we've got these rumors of him possibly, him and the whole Aussie team going over to live, that would be really unfortunate because the performances he's put on in the past 18 months have been amazing. We should have maybe seen this coming, even though I did. I had the outright in the one and done, but it made sense for him to win a major this year by the way he's been performing.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I'm going to start doing in the future, is more so keeping a yearly tab, right? Like, who are some guys where it would kind of make sense if this is the year they win their major, right? Even if they're not like getting first and second right before they come in. Think about kind of the whole year, or whole last 2 years in general.
Yeah.
Rory is one of those guys, right? Rory in the coming 2 years, he'll probably He'll probably end up winning one of these things. I mean, his number is going to be absolutely bonkers low.
Yeah, he's going to be like 8-1 at the Masters.
Right, with all the stuff that he puts. But we saw a bunch of live guys play well, which was kind of interesting. DJ played well.
DJ should have potentially won this thing. He played so bad on the second 9 on Saturday and then didn't make shit on Sunday. It was like, dude, you should have been at 17, 18 threatening, but not a lot of competitive reps, may do that for you. But it was encouraging to see Vic. Didn't shock me that he kind of went the wrong way on Sunday. He hasn't been playing like that good recently, so I wasn't surprised that he kind of fell back. The Cam Young thing is it's super impressive too. Like, that dude, damn near, he's like 2 stupid mistakes from having his hand on 2 majors this year. Big boy events. I
think not that it really matters between second and third, but I think I'm probably in the camp that Rory would have beat him if it wasn't for him trying to
tied him. He would have
tied him. But yeah, I mean, if it was just Cam Young and Rory, if Cameron Smith just was wouldn't have made the cut or something, I think Rory would have won the tournament.
Probably.
But yeah, he didn't necessarily beat Rory just because Rory tried to hold that that little chip shot there at the end. Either way, unbelievably
still T2 either way, even if Rory makes it.
Place doesn't change at all. It was unbelievably impressive.
Whips out his penis on 18 and was like, "Guess what, Cam? You're gonna have to birdie here. I'm making a fucking eagle right in your face."
Why wasn't Rory on, or at least closer to the green on that? That's why
he didn't get the right bounce, and Cam Young hits it farther than Rory.
Man, I was expecting Rory to kind of flirt with it being up there, but
I mean, he wasn't that far off. But I also don't think he got the right. You have to get a right bounce still.
Right.
There, so
yeah, we saw a lot of unlucky bounces, a lot of lucky bounces. So
Cam Young he just hits absolutely. The best thing I saw the whole tournament was on Saturday, and because I was at home with COVID, I literally got up at 9 Saturday and Sunday and just watched golf for 6 straight hours. I didn't do literally anything else. Sat there in the basement, trying to survive, watching golf. 17 was literally fucking impossible on Saturday. There was I think they showed when the Rory group, which is second to last group, got there, 7% of the field had hit the green. 7 had hit the green in red. Cam Young gets up there in the final group and hits a fucking nuke to 145 yards in the fairway and then stuffs an iron to 10 feet. And it was holy shit.
Yeah.
All day. Even when it was way easier in the morning, no one could even sniff that. And he walks up and just hits a bomb way down there and then stuffs an iron. Of course, he misses it. But it was look at this. Well, I'm playing a different game than everyone else.
Yeah, that was quite the formula he had going on there. We saw a lot of big hitters up on that board.
Yeah, it was a kind of a Bombers deal, other than Bombers and super saucy short game guys.
Even though we saw a weird Brian Harmon flurry there in some.
Yeah, but it chips and putts his ass off.
Yeah.
So it's what do you do?
Yeah, but really fun tournament. I went to the Corn Ferry event here in Springfield on Saturday. You couldn't go because that was the day you had kind of came down with COVID. I followed been on around for a while. Cole Hammer, who we're going to have in this event this weekend at the 3M. A lot of fun viewing for me. I hit the outright. Got to go to a Corn Ferry event. Got to watch a major. I mean, it was quite the golf weekend for me. So I'm excited, and hopefully we can keep it going because we're going to need to hit some bets this weekend because unfortunately the field is really, really bad.
Yeah. So 3M Open, Twin Cities, TPC Twin Cities. It's it's a weird course because it's kind of like a parkland with trees, but the trees aren't really in play because the fairways are wide. But they also put a shitload of water on the course, which is what's actually in play, not the trees. And there's a bunch of bunkers out there. Pretty big bent grass green, so they roll super pure. Everybody putts their balls off here, and you have to go low. You got to make a bunch of birdies. Even when it was windy a couple years ago, I think 15 under still won. 15 under won last year, and it was like 20 the 2 years before that. So you got to take it low. You got to make a bunch of birdies, and this is not an easy tournament to predict. Although, the winners, Wolf, Thompson, and Cam Champ, all guys who can just make a bunch of birdies.
Yeah, I mean, guys who can hit it far too, right? I mean, that was kind of the height of Matt Wolf. Really, that was when he was kind of coming on as well. This is the young bomber, right? This is the guy. Cam Champ, same way. I mean, obviously he's regressed a little bit in the sense that he's not like some young phenom anymore. But if you can avoid the water, there's some landing areas that are way far down by the greens this week. So hopefully, we can kind of keep that in our mind and build a card. I have driving distance in my model this week because we've seen guys like, Bryce Garnett.
Finau's done good here.
Now, right? Guys who can really hit it end up being on this leaderboard. Bryson, Max Homa, right? Max Homa was a super ball striker, just couldn't. People forget that Max Homa was kind of the same player he is. He just couldn't make any putts back then.
Well, but he also hits it. He drives it way better now.
Right.
He's out of distance and drives it way better, but he also has got a lot better putting.
Right, and he was always that young, talented ball striker who could perform in events like this. So it makes sense to also look for guys of that similar profile this week. As far like a younger, talented, has a chance to spike in an event where you don't have to be super, super straight, but you can just kind of unleash and make a ton of birdies.
Right. Yeah, it'll be an interesting week.
Sam Burns, same way, right? Sam Burns on this leaderboard.
The field has basically like zero good people that you would want to bet beyond I guess Tony Finau and Sungjae and Dickey, but it is pretty fucking thin beyond that.
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to be on Sungjae. I'm going to start a little bit farther down than that, but I would say a lot of bets are going to be on similar people this week. If you're a person who follows golf Twitter or follows a lot of touts or people like that where you're trying to get advice, you're going to see a lot of very similar names, right? Like Goddard has kind of been the guy this week that everybody wants to bet because he can hit it really far and he's super talented.
That would be the same Wolf thing. Wolf showed up here fourth event on tour and just won. I was like, oh shit. Svensson
is going to be another popular name. You're going to see all these types of guys who are going to be in that range who are going to be pretty live this week. Unfortunately, the unpredictability of their games is high, so it's going to be careful out there.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. No way I'm touching anybody under 20. Most of those guys have no business being priced under 20. Definitely Tringali and Hadwin. They don't ever win shit. So
yeah, Tringali actually has kind of bounced back from his little his bad stint there, but unfortunately,
winning play, no fucking winning.
I bet Tringali whenever his numbers are good, and that is about the opposite of good. So we're going to stay away from that. But I think both of us like this pair of 22s right here.
Yep, I would prefer Riley to Thigala. I think mostly because of the travel. I don't think Riley played last week, right? At the Open.
No.
So that would be my only preference between the two of them. Both can make a shitload of birdies. Both are super talented guys who have kind of had emergent type seasons. Would be kind of on your season long theory thing. It wouldn't surprise me if either one of them got a win this year. They've both been close a handful of times. So I'll probably play Riley. Sounds like you're going to play Thigala. Those numbers for each of them are not great, but they've both been around the hoop a few times, and typically that's what it takes before you get your first win. So I'll take a shot with Riley.
We've seen Thigala make a bunch of birdies, and we've seen him contend, which is something I'm kind of looking for. He was number one in my model for strokes gained par 5, which is also what you're going to have to score on all your par 5s pretty much all weekend long if you're going to want to contend here. Ball striking has been really good. I think he was number 11th in my model. Birdies are better gained. He was top 25. Tee to green, just in general, he was 6th. So he just kind of fits the profile. If we can get that hot putter and we can get that confidence, I think Thigala will have a chance to contend again this week. And I mean, really, when you get down to it, you just want guys that are in the hunt. I don't know if Thigala is going to win, but I just hope that when it comes Sunday, we have a couple guys there in those back few groups that has a chance. Because in events like this, it's really hard. You just want to have a chance there at the end.
Yeah, and my Riley thing is just Mexico Open, ATT Byron Nelson, Charles Schwab. Like the birdie thing, he can make a bunch of birdies, and he has the ceiling with the irons to do it. His putter's a bit up and down, but I'm willing to take a shot on a guy who's threatened a few times this year at least. I can't fault you for Cam Davis just purely on the I'll take a bomber and just see what happens, but his form
number is horrible.
I wrote down Tom Kim, but I didn't write him down for 28. I can promise you that. He's a good, really, really talented kid, but he should be 48 or 68, something like that.
I don't really like this group at all. I think Svensson opened at 50. So
Svensson is obviously popped in my model and is on he's played well here, but it's no way at 35. Come on, dude. That dude hasn't even sniffed a win.
No, I would stay away.
Cam Champ has 3 or 4 wins on tour. Matt Wolff was a stud out of college, and Michael Thompson has 5 wins on tour. I get that, it's kind of a random tournament, but those guys have taken care of business before. We haven't seen that Adam Svensson come up here and win. So maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'll probably mention him, when we get into derivative. I mean, the last 2 events that Svensson's played is John Deere and Barbasol, and he got top 25 at both, including a top 10.
Yeah, I'm happy with him in a derivative market.
At Barbasol, he gains on the greens all the time. So he's kind of a perfect guy for this. And outside of the fact he doesn't hit it very far, but other things, he's really got it. He's way high in both of our models, so it's going to be hard to ignore him. But I would stay away he doesn't have any winning pedigree at all yet.
I'm fine with posting at 40.
Yeah,
I know it's probably is he really going to win twice? But crazier shit has happened. Dude putts his balls off. You'll know on Thursday with posting. He's either come out and shoot 64, and you're like, oh shit, we're in it, or he's going to shoot 74. It's well, I didn't waste that much money on him anyways. But we've seen him win 2 Birdie Fest events and show up in a bunch of others. So,
right.
And he's not the greatest off the tee. Maybe a little bit more fairway kind of bodes well for him. Don't have any problem. I'm probably not going to hop on either Hardy or Goddard, but I think both of them are kind of shots in the dark at super talented younger guys. So I don't really have a problem with either of those guys either, especially if you can find them at a little bit higher number.
We kind of talked about Goddard and his profile. I unfortunately will not be doing it, but a lot of people are going to win this week if he does hit it. He just doesn't. This one honestly just kind of, I'm going to go against the model and just be hey, there's too many people betting him for him to win this week. So
yeah.
It doesn't really seem like the formula of a Goddard win to me. Smotherman though.
Going down the board, Wyndham Clark at 50.
Yeah,
he hits it far and has will randomly pop in these type of events. I'd rather take a shot on him than Goddard, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so in my model for driving distance, if you just short by, I think I always do kind of about 24 rounds. It's Clark, it's Callum Tarrant, Goddard, Champ, Hardy, who we've all mentioned, right? These are all guys that are kind of fit that bill. So if that's what you're looking for, that's a way that you could start focusing your card.
Anybody else in this region here?
So I'm not totally opposed to Ricky at 65. Thoughts?
Whoa. What's Russell Rick's form like?
So he popped in my par 5 scoring. Not that really matters, but it's just kind of approaches. He played Genesis, but did not get into the Open. He made the cut there. Other than that, he's just been making cuts. He hasn't really been doing anything that crazy. I just think that, I'm okay with a 65 and a terrible, terrible field and a guy that the talent's in there and he's not playing that bad. He's going to contend eventually. So, maybe it's just kind of a dart throw.
Yeah. Well, would you rather take him or Champ? Champ's form is terrible, but I'm pretty sure his form was terrible last year when he showed up too. So it's
I would take Ricky just because I honestly don't know. Either one probably doesn't matter.
Ricky probably gets you 25th. Champ you may be done on hole 6 on Thursday.
Right. Champ's kind of got that up and down. But is Champ going to win it again?
Probably not, but you never know.
Yeah.
Smotherman at 80. Through here. Smotherman's not terrible at 80. I like Sig at 100. He's been playing really nice golf. I think he's got 3 straight top 25s or something like that.
So Bo Hostler, can you go back up to that number? I think it was maybe 80. Yeah, so he was really, really low in my model, but was in the top 10 of long par 4 scoring. Driving distance, he was top 20, and he's a super, super good putter. So I don't think that 80 is that bad on Hostler. We've seen him pop in bad event or in bad field events.
Yeah.
I would say this is a rare play for me because I usually guys who are that low in the model, I try to just completely, ignore them. But I think that Bo has a couple of things going for him that fit. So if he's going to play well, he can make a ton of birdies just based on him making so many putts. I don't think it's that bad if you're looking for a guy, in the 60 plus range.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a week that you could dabble in the 80 to 140 range with a few guys. I already mentioned Sig. Gligic has been like sneaky in nice form, getting damn close to his home territory here in Minnesota. He's a Canadian guy at 100. Don't hate that. I imagine I have not looked that close, but I imagine you could probably find better numbers out there if you have enough access to books. Chesson Hadley at 130. Don't really hate that either. He's popped in a couple of birdie fests.
Yeah, Yeager 100. So Stephen Yeager got top 30 at the John Deere with losing 6 strokes on the green. 6. So if you believe in putting having some weird spike and you just want to hit it, and you want somebody to like take a dabble on, he's a guy that has all the other parts. He just can't make putts.
Yeah.
So that's one right there. Even Taryn too hits really far.
So there, I was gonna say, Taryn and Matthews are both two to hit it like crazy far. Matthews has already won twice on Corn Ferry. So there's worse shots in the dark probably than guys who just absolutely nuke it. Justin Lauer's been playing super, super good. He hits it pretty far also. I mean, down here you're getting to some guys who just have literally no fucking form at all.
These guys are horrible.
And then you get into the guys who like don't play golf.
So Bramer has played well here.
And he hits nukes too.
Yeah, so there's one too. I think not. I was thinking of Garnett actually, but he does hit nukes.
Garnett has been playing. He's on my past history here.
Hammer.
Here, but I can't see what that. I don't know what that.
I watched this weekend. He had multiple rounds in the 60s, but that was kind of based on course conditions. But he really struck the ball really well. He's a guy that what was he at 200 there? I think Hammer actually opened at like 250 or 280 on DK. So this number's been bet a little bit. He's a guy that if you believe in young talent, you believe that this is an event where someone like that could win, which we've seen happen in the past. He's a guy you should consider because that 200 is pretty damn big.
I was just kind of like looking at all these names down here. I'm like, damn, there's a bunch of guys who hit it really far. And it's like, yeah, if you can hit it really far and you're okay at everything else, you can pretty much get on tour. Like that's because most of these guys are on tour because they hit it far. Hagee hits fucking nukes. Sungyeol No hits it far. Kevin Chappell hits it far. Like a bunch of these guys hit it far as fuck, and that's like kind of how they got on tour. And then you got the Stewart guys who just bunt it. Martin Trainer bunts it. Scott Brown can't hit 280 if he wanted to. Wolf, he's a big guy, hits it far. This is like stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
Like Paul Goydos, I think he's literally like in his 60s. Chris Nagle is a guy from St. Louis who's like basically not a professional golfer, but he thinks he is. He made the cut the U.S. Open and he played well at John Deere, but like that dude hasn't played on a tour ever. I assume he got a sponsor's invite. I don't know how the fuck he got in this field unless he Monday qualified. But some interesting names that we mentioned in the longer shot range, and then obviously you go into derivatives. I think that's where kind of maybe there's a little bit of value. 20s are dangerous to me this week unless you're going way up top. I might take a shot on like a Poston or a Svensson top 20 at around 2-1, but I'm not going to be loading up on 20s. I can promise you that because.
Yeah, I actually would probably be pretty light. I don't think we need to really get into it because I don't think neither of us are going to bet a ton this week. But a lot of the names are going to be the exact same that we just kind of went over, those long shots that we think, have skills that set up for this course and in this type of field. And then just, you got to find 30s and 20s on guys like that because guess what? They're probably not going to win. So you want to maybe cash in and then maybe even pick matchups with some of those guys because this week is probably going to be a light one for both of us.
Yeah, so like 40s, like the guys in the 40 range, Wyndham Clark, Gligic, You said Jaeger, Hostler, Grayson Sig,
Yeah.
Callum Tarrant, Cheston Henley. Like that's kind of like I'll probably sprinkle a couple 30s and 40s, hit a couple of matchups, which we'll talk about here in a sec, and then kind of move on from this.
Yeah,
week.
Stuart
Next
Sink
week
is
should be a
another one
bit
of those-
better, but I kind of think it's also going to be shitty.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Stu Sink because this is a post-major
week.
And he's been playing pretty decent. So I'm not, necessarily opposed to it. He did miss the cut at the Open, but he got top 25 at Scottish. He was
That's
like
better. He got to fly the fuck home.
Right. He was top. I think he was like what? He was 24th in my model. Second in birdies or betters gained. So Stu Singh, this is kind of a perfect setup for him to play well, kind of come in with no pressure, come off that major, and do what he does. That after week major killer. I think he's another guy you could kind of add in for the 30 or 20.
17th in my model. So yeah.
There you
go. Missed the cut after Schwab or after PGA at the Schwab this year, and 53rd at Travelers post US Open. But
he's due.
I hit him at 101 last year after the Masters, so it's in there.
And he's playing. It's not like we're just doing off that. Stu Sink's playing pretty decent for him.
Yeah, he's playing all right. He's popping in the model.
He's a guy that can 100% can compete here. So let's hope that comes Saturday and he's in like 25th, and you just got to kind of pray for some birdies on the back end.
Matchups, I will also be probably being very picky, given the absolute massacre I got handed last week.
I like
nothing that's like super standing out off the top here. Davis Riley minus 110 over Cam Davis.
Yeah,
that's purely like a form thing. Like,
there's not a lot of matchups.
Cam Davis's form is actually good. Like, I didn't know that. I thought he had shitty form.
Thinking about betting him?
6th and 8th in his last 2 starts. Now the 6th is in an event where they keep score. It's Stableford, but 8th at John Deere, 6th in his last start.
Oh, his putting's been pretty decent too. Nice. Yeah, so maybe take the Cam Davis in a matchup. He could be a guy you could maybe use for one and done. We'll probably get into that here soon.
That's going to be a literal dart throw. I mean, nothing on here is like, oh, definitely fucking bet this, because you got to bet somebody bad against somebody who is also kind of bad.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I looked through them today. I didn't have any. I was going to have to. I started looking at them and I was like, I can't. I got to have to do more deep dives because this isn't going to work by just picking. And I need to bounce back because last week was really, really bad. I would be weary, but I would also, pick some guys who got some plus numbers on them. Right? You never know.
Yeah, that's what I would say is fine. If there's somebody for some reason like Poston plus 116 over McNeely is just as much of a threat to just throw it on Thursday as Poston is. Like, come on. Like, why in the world is he a big underdog to him? McNeely played okay last week, right? Like, I think he's had 3 good weeks in a row too. But, 9th in a fucking Stableford event. But before that, he was terrible. So, I don't know.
Neesmith Hardy is an interesting one because Hardy's talented, but like not actually that good.
Neesmith is small, like pretty consistent. You kind of know what you're getting. He's going to putt terrible, but he's going to ball strike his nuts off.
Right. He's been popping to my model. His putting his putting was 90th. So, but his approach,
he's terrible putter, but he does hit.
He's been super good. So I think he can give you opportunities. Nick Hardy's not necessarily like a huge birdie maker.
He's a guy who's like pretty good at everything, but like nothing is like unbelievable. So it's kind of hard for him. He has to have a bunch of shit happen for him to like play really well.
I don't necessarily like him being favored or matched up exactly with guys is kind of like.
Neesmith had made like 9 cuts in a row, and most of them were finishes in the 30s or better before the Genesis. Which why in the world would he play good at the Genesis? So it's like I don't know if you want to bet against that with Nick Hardy, who like. Pretty fucking inconsistent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can make a case for both sides this week. That's kind of the hard part.
Yeah, Nick Hardy probably has way more like sheer talent, but like Nick Hardy, like 102nd in my model and approach, like that ain't gonna fucking get it done.
No, that's not good.
There's not many matchups even on FanDuel, none of which are intriguing to me in any capacity. I guess Nagle
Maybe
plus 126 over Sungjae is like, I don't like Sungjae's better than him, but like I don't know in one random week where if Nagle's been playing well, like plus 126 seems a little high.
Yeah, that is a little high, but I think
Sungjae 81st miscut his last 3 starts too.
So. Oh, there you go. What was it? 126. I might add that.
Yeah. Sungjae must have finished DFL last week. 81st. How do you make the cut? How do 81 guys even make the cut? Like,
yeah, I think it was like 82 guys made the cut. But yeah, because I remember looking at it, it was like tied for 8, whatever. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, he's 81st. They're tied for 81st, whatever it was. 1-stroke victory came through again. Could have been 2. Could have been 2 potentially if Cam Young didn't make eagle and Rory fucked up and didn't make birdie on the last like he did. Like, just keep cashing that.
Yeah, these
it's had a good year, honestly, or like at least a good second half of the year.
Yeah, you can't. These are things that you can't get mad when you still win at 1 because it's just over the long run. You just have to keep stacking them up. When I win those, it's just like, hey, thanks and move on, right? You just like, I'll do it again next week because I love it. And I'm going to do the same thing this week: 1-stroke, 2-stroke. This event's been finishing with that sort of range. I think it was maybe 3 one year, but either way,
I think won by a few, right?
Yeah, but either way, in events like this where a lot of birdies can be made, they usually see a handful of guys.
And when the field is so like talents compact together, there's no like upper crust. Like it's all everybody's. I mean, legitimately, besides Finau and Sungjae and Decky, everyone else is in the same like tier basically. For like the next 60, 70 guys are all like in the same tier. Like they could. Any of them could shoot 64 one day and 74 the next. They're all the same.
Yeah, these are the events where margins are fun because you don't have much else. So you're like,
yeah, you may have bet like 5 things and you probably almost definitely don't have an outright involved. And it's like, all right. Bro.
Margins at least keep you interested because there's a chance we come into Sunday and we're like, that board ain't got nobody on it that we know.
Yep, definitely a possibility.
What are you thinking for one and done?
I think that I need to just close my eyes, pick somebody, and move the fuck on. Like,
so I have Tony.
Doesn't look good.
To use him or not?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I would.
Theegala, Finau, Mav, or Davis.
So I'm
don't have 33rd now or something like that, or like 30th now. Something I'm like 30. I can't remember what it was. Like 31st or 33rd or something after my Cam Smith thing.
I have none of those top 3 guys. I don't have Finau, Sungjae, or Decky. So I have to take one of the bad players this week.
I think
Finau. The reason I would take Finau is because like he's been good here. Like it's not just like he's the best player you have available. Like he's been good here. I don't love the flying from Scotland to Minnesota, but like it may not matter. That would be my thing with Theegala is like maybe you're a little burnout, but like I don't know. I'm half tempted to like throw it on Poston and just hope for like feast or famine. Like what does $40,000 do me though at this point if somebody just finishes 40th?
Yeah,
it does nothing. You need a win. Like you need a top 5 for sure.
Right.
No one on my list of available guys is a sure like top 10, top 15 bet. None of them.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm going to use Finau.
Yeah,
because if he doesn't win,
I'm far enough down now that like I just need top 5 and wins. And Scheffler, honestly, Scheffler may have just Spieth and Scheffler the last 2 weeks probably cost me. Because Spieth could have easily finished 3rd and got me like 600,000 when he ended up getting like 100. And then if Scotty just shoots like 3 under, and when everyone else was shooting 6 on Sunday, he finishes like 3rd and gets me like $500,000. And instead, he got me like 40,000. So those 2 guys absolutely bone me. You're gonna have that, but like in those events with big money, I'm like not great.
Yeah, so I'll be between. Finau's kind of my front runner, and then I have Theegala and Davis. Kind of made the case for both of those guys already. I like Theegala, but the issue is we haven't seen Finau win events like this. Like it doesn't. The event he won was a fucking playoff event. So, like,
yeah,
it doesn't. This is not like some like Tony.
You wouldn't even feel good about playing Sungjae this week.
No.
81st, miscut. Has to fly across the country or fly across the world.
You're
Decky's
crazy.
been like hit or miss as like motherfucker. Like seems like he's definitely going to live post
FedEx
potentially just like ASAP, but like definitely post
or Presidents.
FedEx or Presidents potentially. But supposedly he's getting like $350 million, and that Shrixon is kicking in a bunch of that, and they're going to come on as like a big sponsor for the Live Tour.
I'd leave for $350.
Fuck yeah. And your Decky, it's like, all right, sign me up for $350 million. Supposedly, now that's pretty alleged, but most of the shit's been kind of right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to be rooting for Tony Finau, and he just definitely isn't gonna win, so that sucks. But I'm in a high enough position.
He might finish fifth.
Right. I'm in a good enough position now after the Cam Smith major win because he got $2.5 million. That if I get another win, I'm for sure in the money. Or if I have consistent finishes at the top, I'll be in the money of the payouts. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah. The last 2 weeks were really bad for me considering with Spieth was only 2% owned when I had him, and he easily could have finished second in that tournament. And Scheffler was only 4% owned.
Next week at Rocket Mortgage, the field should be a little better, so we'll see.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've already used Homa, but he was showing up next week. He would be a great play, but I don't know what the field's going to look. I still think it's going to be pretty bad, but I do think you'll get a few more guys. But
it's going to be.
I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm probably going to take Riley or Poston, somebody like that. And just pray. I mean, I'm not expecting to do good this weekend when it's done. I don't think anybody probably is realistically. Somebody's going to get lucky. I would say the ownership percentages are going to be like pretty jarring. Like,
right.
It wouldn't shock me if the Gala is like 12% owned, which would be like disgusting. But that's kind of the reality of this.
Yeah, I don't. Man, I think we've kind of covered it. I think my lasting thing would be guys who can hit it far, guys with a little bit of form if you can, and at least some sort
guys who can make birdies.
Yeah, possible birdie putting like potential. So
like
that's
spike, like the guys who make a bunch of birdies and the guys who can spike with their putter.
Right. I think Hostler will be someone I mentioned that'll be a guy that you'll see in my card, and then unfortunately,
putting.
I'll be very sad whenever I have to root for Tony Finau to make his backdoor top 10 on Sunday, which sucks, but hopefully it'll happen.
Yeah. I was just doing a little quick bent putting sort. Svensson's pretty high up there.
Svensson's really high. I did this yesterday.
McNeely's pretty damn high up there. Stu Sink.
David Skins, who also hits it far.
Tom Hoagie. I saw some tweet today that was like, I saw some tweet that, oh my God, Hoagie has, oh my God, he's missed 6 cuts in a row. No, he's close. Jesus Christ. Supposedly there's a casino like 10 minutes from TPC, and somebody's like, I'm going to go see what Hoagie's up to. He's grinding on the table. So, are we on break, or we have French GP this week? Or
yeah.
That after? I think this is it, and then a break, right?
This is it, and then the break. Yeah.
Yeah. Verstappen plus 110. Bet it. Move on. I feel like.
I haven't made any bets here recently on Formula One.
I haven't either, because like as soon as you think it's predictable, Verstappen's fucking engine blows up, or he gets a flat tire, or whatever, and he finishes 7th. And Leclerc looks like he's going to win, and his team bones him, and he finishes fucking 4th, or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I think that if you're looking to get a little crazy, I'd bet like a Russell win or like a Lewis win, like a Mercedes.
Lewis win. 750, Russell 15-1. Sainz is 17-1, which is like seems kind of high for somebody in a Ferrari. But
you bet Ferrari, you might as well throw your money down the toilet, because they'll throw it away for you if you don't. So I don't. There's not a lot of opportunities, unfortunately, in Formula One. We've kind of hit that. We've already talked about it when we went over to Austria, but I mean that's just how it is, I guess. Bet some like crazy if you're trying to waste money.
They got to figure the car thing out. Like they tried but didn't work. So get the cars more equal so it's more fun. I get that there's more passing now, but like the fact that we know who's going to win every race out of one of two guys basically doesn't make it that much more fun. I mean, the points is like close enough that it's, that part is intriguing, but like, I don't know. Like Mercedes hasn't even sniffed a win. They've backdoored every podium they've got too. So it's like you really have two teams, and on one team, Carlos Sainz has been basically dog shit. He just has a really fast car all year.
Yeah, the Mercedes podiums have all been given to them. They don't even they're sneaking in by pure ass
literal back door. Like somebody fucking broke on like 5 laps left, and they.
So that
Russell's been impressive for like first year in a car like that, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, this is a betting show, and my betting advice for Formula One is to not bet it. So that's unfortunate.
I mean, as long as if they give you plus money on Max to win, I think
maybe you do that
every week, but like
treat it as a margin, right? It's like, hey, Max wins that plus money, but I'd much rather just go and throw your margin money on the golf tournament because that seems a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else?
No, we've obviously hit the weird spot in the NBA where there's nothing happening. I don't know. Sports wagering is slowing down unless you're a real degenerate. Then you're betting on your summer league is what you were betting on. I'm gonna just kind of keep it pretty light this week, especially after hitting Cam Smith. I had a pretty good week in my account, so my account's high. I'm gonna try to keep it, save it, not try to throw it away on the 3M in Minneapolis and kind of load up.
I'm not going to chase my ass from last week. I'm just going to accept the fact that I had a bad week, and I'm not going to make it up to 3M. I was going to look at the schedule because there's really not very many tournaments left here, and we've got a few stinkers.
Rocket Mortgage, Wyndham, FedEx, BMW before we get into playoffs.
Yeah, so we've got 3M and Rocket Mortgage the next 2 weeks. Rocket Mortgage Field surprises they're going to suck. Wyndham should be like good, not great, of like some guys trying to position themselves for the playoffs. Rory already said he's not showing up till FedEx. I assume there'll be a bunch of dudes not showing up till FedEx. Like I doubt Cam Smith and any of those guys. Scotty's probably done for a while. But those two events will be really fun.
Yeah, FedEx is going to be loaded. That field is going to be loaded. Especially you're going to have some of these guys that are potentially thinking about leaving after the FedEx Cup, so they're going to want to play and hopefully give themselves a chance. Those will be fun, but unfortunately, we've hit that point in the summer where it's like it's vacation time. It's no NBA. There's no college basketball.
The majors are over, so all the big guys have kind of like worn themselves out, and they're all for the most part positioned. And now with Liv, like the guys who aren't really positioned, they've taken the fucking cash and
I think there's a Liv event this weekend. So if you want to get crazy, you could bet that
next weekend, right?
Oh, whatever it is. I think it's soon. Whatever.
2 weeks, not this week, but the week after. Trump Bedminster in the like Boston area.
Interesting.
Well, we should see a few more guys defect before that tournament, I think. But we'll see. Henrik Stenson going to give up his Ryder Cup captaincy to go play for Liv.
Have fun.
Nice. All right. Hopefully next week I'll be fully recovered from COVID, and we're coming off a 100-1 outright. That'd be great.
That would be a thing of beauty. I need Tony Finau to at least get first or second. So that's all I'm looking for.
All right. Peace out.
See ya.